Gumball Car Rally, a fun event, not a race event. Proceeds address projects around mental health in the Cayman Islands. Rotary Central Gumball Rally, helping create hope in Cayman and the world.
Radio Cayman's historical vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
What is on your mind, Cayman? If you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. Thank you very much for joining us another fantastic Friday. As we invite you to be a part of the discussion, it's going to be some open line until, well, who knows? Give us a shout and share your thoughts. Be the first caller. Be the first caller. Come on, Fox, let's sing together. All right, stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Talk Today is reminding you.
Avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Email Talk Today at candw.ky. Let your voice be heard.
And now, back to Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. It's open line. And we got one call. Let's go straight. It's the first call. Hey, welcome. Good afternoon. Thanks for sharing.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sterling.
Hey, good afternoon. How are you today?
Oh, not the worst and not the best, but
Yeah.
I wish you healing. Mr. Sterling.
Well, thank you very much for that. Prayers for healing, prayers for provision and protection, prayers for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Prayers, I think, are powerful, and we serve a living God, at least in my mind. So how are you, man? I pray the same for you, that each day gets better than the day before.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm working on something, healing my finances. Working on a new service to the public, and it's not looking too bad so far. But I just need a little. I'm waiting to get a little response back. Got to get a couple little things together. It's a small little thing, but trying to do a little service, a little business service. It's something that's not. I haven't seen it here in Cayman. Quite a few people say that, but speaking with a very brilliant young man, he inspired me, and we started to talk, and we came up with that. Came up with an idea, and I'm trying to take it somewhere. So I don't want to say too much yet.
No, man. Do your thing, man. And maybe together, whether the idea inspires you or whether together you can partner, ideas are to be shared and they're to be explored, and, hopefully they bring much reward, not just financial, but otherwise, as they contribute.
Yes, sir. It doesn't have to be. It's not designed to get a big profit immediately. No, I don't really and things like that. But a couple dollars, slowly.
Yeah, man, of course.
Get effective and stuff like that. Got to make it an effective service.
Yeah. Well, our financial advisors would talk about residual income, and if you have a going concern, a business, a way that every month you consistently got something coming in. And of course, the more that comes in, the more that you can manage your expenses, perhaps the more that you can save, the more that you can, contribute. But you have to start somewhere, right?
Right.
Yeah, man. And
I wish you healing, Mr. Sterling.
In the name of Jesus, my friend. Thank you. I receive it. All right.
My wish for a lot of people, but
of course,
yeah.
You're a good man. You have a good spirit, a willing heart, and the love and kindness is very, very evident in you and what you say and how you go about your day, man. So thank you for that, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm here when you need, but put one foot in front of the other and take good care of yourself. The gentleman speaks with what I call the agape love. The gentleman speaks with a sense of honesty, sincerity, genuineness. And that's great, Thank him for that. And as he said, he not only wishing that for me, but for others. I want to say a special thanks to Miss Catherine for filling in yesterday, and especially to Miss Norma and Miss Paulette. I had physio scheduled for yesterday, and you probably could reschedule it, but then that would not only affect, my wellness, but schedule to reschedule could affect other people. And so this year, very purposefully, trying this thing that we all hear so much. Sometimes when I hear some people say things, it's like drivel come out of their mouth, it's emptiness. Even though the thing itself is meaningful, it's just the people that are saying it. But it's the idea of wellness and self-care. We know we should do it. I certainly have heard much said about it. Certainly believe it's to be very, very essential. But personally would not do it because looking after yourself on a personal level, I would equate that to being selfish. Now, that's very foolish, but it's still my perspective. So I wouldn't do it. I'd forego that thing, whether it was a nice walk on the beach to watch the sunset, whether it was to take a few minutes and even enjoy reading as much as I do. You take it away from something else that you could be doing for somebody else. Even though we know, it's been said so much that it unfortunately has become a cliche. You put on your mask first before you assist. Most of us as parents are going to assist the child and those around us first before we take care of ourselves. Maybe it's not the way it should be, but it's the way it is, right? We know that they say, well, if you don't take care of yourself, you can't help others. That is true. So I never did that. Well, this year I was very purposeful and I did it. I don't know whether it was from a sense of, this view that you have this strong work ethic. If it's because of the example you see in your parents and your brothers and sisters and those around you, that you come to work no matter what. You're breathing, you got life, so you get up and you go to work, you push through. And I've done that, like many of you. We have an incredible, work ethic in our society, and that is commendable. But like many of you, we're doing that to our detriment. So as this year rolled around, I realized that, it was starting the way it ended. My shoulders bugging me. I'm not taking the opportunity to see the experienced physicians that we have, not taking the opportunity to benefit from that intervention, as they would call it, to make sure that I can not only continue to exercise, but I can enjoy life. I can, sit at the table, and if I need both hands to hold my sandwich or hold my tea and my cookie, that I could do it instead of being, a position where I can only use one hand. I only use one hand to maybe bathe and dry off, try to put on a shoe. But you don't realize sometimes how one little injury in one part of your body affects you, not just your mobility and your momentum, but your very functionality, your ability to do other things. And I say that to say that even though I know, and I thank Mr. Roy Borden for sharing with us as often as he has, not only on the studio here as a guest, but publicly at many of the presentations, in particular as part of the Lions Pace event. Don't ignore that niggling feeling, he would say. I don't know about you, but I have ignored it, and now it come home to bite me. So this year, you know what? Not so. It now goes so, Bobo. Look after yourselves. When we come back, I'll share something else with you as well. Maybe you'll find it to be a bit of a chuckle. You might find it to be, boy, people bad-minded. But let's talk about that when we come back. 949-8037. 949-6990. Of course, you can WhatsApp. You can WhatsApp a call on the WhatsApp. You can WhatsApp a message or a voice note. 925-3261. And just to confirm, is the 800 number working? It's not working. Almost joking, say that like some politicians, but I'm not going to say that. That's not a joke. All right, you got a numbers to call, so give us a shout. When we come back, we want to hear from you. Stay tuned.
At Doctor's Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctor's Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
Hi, I'm Wardley Connolly, a flow technician and a member of the Flow family. Every day, myself and other members from Flow team are out in the community working to better serve you. We are expanding our network and growing the fiber family daily. As we upgrade fiber optic throughout the communities, we are committed to ensure a better, more reliable internet experience to everyone across the entire islands. I'm inviting you to join Cayman's largest and most reliable internet. Visit one of our stores near you or go online to discover flow.ky. We look forward to serving you.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
February 14th. Not only is it Valentine's Day, but also the 55th Annual Agricultural Show returns to the Stacy Watler Pavilion in Lower Valley. Save the date, Ash Wednesday, February 14th. Fellas, you know what she wants? More plants. Ladies, you know what he wants? The food. And what better way to tire the kids out before Valentine's date night than at Grand Cayman's biggest one-day family fun day. The 55th Annual Agricultural Show returns to the Stacy Watler Pavilion in Lower Valley, Wednesday, February 14th. For more information, visit them on Facebook or caymanagriculture.ky.
In 2022, 15 people lost their lives on Cayman's roads, and 2,915 road traffic collisions resulted in 32 serious injuries.
So far in 2023, 9 more people fell victim to road fatalities.
Parents lost sons and daughters.
Children lost their mothers, fathers, and caregivers.
Young lives were ended before they even began, and stories were cut short before they could be told.
But what if?
We learned to share the road.
We stopped texting and driving.
We did not let our friends drive after a few drinks.
What if we just took the time to slow down and think?
What if, as a community, we rose to the challenge of keeping our roads safe? What if we came together to stop these accidents and fatalities?
What if we all walked the road to zero and decided no more
in 2024?
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back. Again, as it asks, what is on your mind? Let us hear from you. 949-8037. 949-8037 or 949-6990. It is Friday. And man, this month is almost gone. Imagine that. We're well on our way into this 2024. Again, thanks to Miss Catherine for filling yesterday. I really appreciate that. And to Miss Norma and Miss Paulette for allowing me to get to physio. I can got a chance to get to other things after and take care of it without having to feel like a burden to anybody, without having to feel like you're beginning to be beholden. It's good when we work, together. And I say that to say to each of you, as employers and as co-workers, look out for each other. Sometimes you don't realize how just that little bit of kindness, that concession, that offer of sincere offer of help can make a difference. And new year, new you, they say. Well, maybe we need to take a page from some of the people around us. Maybe we need to listen to the counsel that's been offered for so long. I'm certainly going to try to. And look after ourselves, And our health isn't just our physical, or spiritual, or financial, or emotional. It's a societal attribute of our health where we come together, we look out for each other, we help. So thanks very much for that. As we go into the weekend, though, let's talk about things. A few things I want to ask of you. But first off, I thought it was a joke, honestly, when I heard it first, and then second, and then a couple of times. And I'm like, really? So you tell me if you laugh along as I did. I got a call, and then I got a call, then I got another call. And apparently somebody said, I heard, man, what happened to your shoulder, man? You're in a cast, you got beat up. I thought it was just a joke. Really? No, I am, despite the job I've done for almost 20 years now, still in my mind a very private person. So maybe to my own, belief system, you don't need to know a person's personal business unless you need to know. So I don't really tell. And that's that. That's how it'll be. It probably always will be. But obviously now doing this show and having the camera on you can see my arm in a sling. And I only use this opportunity to say to you, don't do what I did. Don't ignore what is a little thing. Then it gets worse. And then years pass and it gets worse to a point where, a few minutes of self-care, as they say, could mean, you avoid other things. You let it fester. You're tough. You're stubborn. You're resolute. You're determined. You can push through the pain. No, that's not what you need to do. So I did it. Don't do it. I'll be honest with you. It will come back to bite you, as it has me. It impacted my enjoyment over Christmas because I couldn't use both hands to get into the turtle meat like I would like to enjoy the cassava cake as much as I did. I still could enjoy it more. If I had the both hands to be able to really dig into it, as they say. And now it's where it's at. So it's wise to look after yourselves. I'm learning that. It's not selfish, it's self-care. So 949-8037 and 949-6990. Or WhatsApp call, WhatsApp message, WhatsApp voice note, whatever you want to do on the WhatsApp, 925-32621. And we'll take your call if you want. I also want to ask something. I did try early in the week, but I didn't try diligently. And then early this morning, I said, let me have a quick call because it's something that have a particular view, and I wanted to make sure that my view isn't from an irate perspective or ill-informed. It's just this notion that as Caymanians, you've got to go down, stand in line, pay a fee, get a stamp, got to do something on a piece of paper to say you're Caymanian. Whether you're applying for some sort of employment, some people require that. If you're applying for scholarship by the government or otherwise. Now, I would like for you to weigh in and guide me to make sure my view isn't ill-informed, isn't misplaced. I honestly believe that a country must have a mechanism by which it's able to recognize its citizens. My friends who live in independent nations, whether the US or Canada, other places, remind me that the only how you can get a passport as an American passport or a Canadian passport is if you're an American or a Canadian. In Cayman, presumably, your passport don't really worth much more than your driver's license. It doesn't tell you anything about your nationality. A discussion I had early in the week, listening to some people talk about it from sort of the academic perspective. They say, passport doesn't tell you anything. Voter's ID doesn't tell you anything. Your birth certificate doesn't tell you anything. What does? Well, apparently you get a stamp from somebody saying so. But what is it then that you do? What documents do you produce that, would determine whether you're eligible to get a stamp to say you're Caymanian. Is it your birth certificate? And then what do you do? And again, what documents do you produce that would determine that you're eligible to be a voter? If you have a voter's ID, it would mean that you must be a Caymanian, unless it's inherently seem to be indicating that maybe that's not true either. Not inflaming, not offending, but it is concerning. Let's take this call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon to you, Sterling. Dwayne.
Hey, to you, sir. How are you today?
Spoken to you before.
I know, man.
Day, yes.
All the best to you, sir.
Fine, I can't complain. Just a few things. What you're talking about there is those problems can be solved by our elected members of Parliament. It is now.
Yes, sir.
So that's debatable to call the Parliament, but we won't go into that.
Right.
Those things can be solved. We have the ability to make ourselves identifiable as Caymanians.
Right.
We've already cut out the fine print and show that who is qualified to call themselves a Caymanian. And also on the voters' registration card and so forth, you have to be Caymanian to be able to be voting, and also and to run, especially.
Yes.
We are challenged by European Union things and United Nations. That anyway, I don't want to.
No, fair enough.
About that organization. Anyway. Our passports say this passport remains the property of the Crown.
Yes, sir.
At all times. The Crown. So we belong to the Crown. All the people who are not a Crown colony, or if you want to call it that, we have to belong to the Crown. Because your passport tells you which country you belong to, ever.
Right.
And the British citizen born there, their passports, I've looked at them, it says the same thing.
Right.
In the fine print writing, which people should read. Our thing with this is when they say that a person has to identify themselves to get a job and so forth, that can be all solved by our elected representatives. They'll have to stand up and pass a law or implement the regulations properly to say it has to be done and it should be done by them.
Right.
I am continuously baffled and disappointed that they haven't done this, straightened this out as yet. I hear people talking all the while. And those things can be done. A couple of other things. I am dumbfounded that we have this situation with the minimum wage carrying on for years and years and years. And again, our elected representatives have not solved that problem and made a decision on what it should be.
Right.
On what it should be. We solved the problem of the FATF and everything against the big companies here, financial companies. And essentially what we're saying is we are concerned in solving problems for the very high-end earning, because let no one make the mistake of thinking that the people involved in these institutions and in these jobs, the financial world and the accounting and the lawyering and things, are not making astronomical salaries. It would be a half idiot bigger than I am to even think to continue in that kind of a belief. And yet still we solve those things in a few months. We go away, and which is quite right and which should be done. But we can't solve the problem for the little man with the minimum wage. It takes us 8 years and another 8 years, and we've got to listen to the Chamber of Commerce. We've got to listen to this one. Nonsense. Other countries don't do that. They don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't understand it. We hear people talking about a graduated minimum wage. That's not so. Those things are done. Salaries are decided in different professions by labor unions or unions. We have the lawyers have a union here, the Bar Association and the other association that the lawyers are involved in. And then you have the Accountants Association of Professional Accountants and so forth, and the Businessmen's Union, which is the Chamber of Commerce, and so forth. They set their prices and they set their profit, and so therefore the only thing that would set a price on people's earnings or their ability to earn money would be a labor union. That's what's done in other countries. I'm not prepared to debate this.
Right.
You can see that yourself.
Right. I want to ask you before you go to something else, but I'll, if you have a minute, yeah. Go back to what you were sharing. When you finish, I want to ask you about the, how do we get our parliamentarians to solve that issue? In case they're not sure, this idea of, Caymanian. What's you're hired as a consultant? What do they need to do? How do they actually fix that?
You remember what Ms. Genevieve Borden said? A consultant is a guy from over yonder. And if you didn't ask her what to define who is a consultant. That's all it is, a guy from over yonder. So
right.
Bring you some idea that you want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need that. We know ourselves. We can define it clearly. We know who they are. You have to be here if you're going to get it by government cabinet grants. It should be very rare. It used to be.
Right. But I mean, the reason why I'm asking is because on a personal level, right, and I'm encouraged by Dr. Steve McField. He sat to my left on a number of occasions, and I still remember the first time he said that. He went down to the courts to renew his annual practicing certificate to be able to appear before the courts as, a duly qualified barrister. And he had to produce something that says he's Caymanian. And I thought, And as I listened to him and as I replayed that conversation and I watched, his eyes, I hear the emotion. And then I look at myself and I thought, well, I remember for some reason having to get my passport, get my birth certificate and my parents' birth certificate. And, you go back and you see.
I did the same.
Right.
Many years.
Right.
Years ago.
And, mine says not only the island I was born in, but the district. So does my father's, right? Now, I'm not an immigration lawyer. I can say this probably with some degree of certainty, even though it may offend some people, that even those who may practice in a certain area, they still got a lot to learn. They don't know as much as they think they know or profess to know or project to know. But that aside, in Cayman, I'm told just because you're born in Cayman, unlike other places, it doesn't automatically confer citizenship on you, right? Again, my understanding that because Cayman is just, a possession, we're not a country, and not an independent nation, we can't grant citizenship. We can grant, for want of a better word, status, right? But having said that, have we done not only a disservice to the country in not being able to readily identify its people, have we been absolutely disrespectful and insulting in the way we now say to the people in the country who think that they're Caymanian because they were born here, their parents were born here, their grandparents were born here, their great-grandparents. They're now, what's the new term that we've ascribed? They're generational, right? They have not only...
As I said, Sir, I've got to go, but I will try maybe to call you back.
Yes, sir.
As I said, that problem can only be solved by our elected representatives.
Agree. But what is it that they need to do? What do they need to do to solve it?
Get together, get into a meeting of the House and decide to solve it. Get
How?
together, not by referendum or anything.
No.
Just by courage.
Okay.
Courage.
There you go.
I've got to go.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Call back and try to get.
Of course. Well, have a great rest of the day and the weekend and a wonderful year. Thanks for sharing. I'm told we have a break, but guys, guide me because I tell you honestly, this thing is offensive. So help me to figure this out. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Cayman Brac, are you ready for fiber? Flow Fiber is now available island-wide across Cayman Brac. Get faster speeds and a reliable internet connection only with Flow. Visit the Flow Stake Bay store or discoverflow.co to sign up today. Flow Fiber is now available island-wide across Cayman Brac. Join Cayman Brac's only fiber network. Terms and conditions apply.
It's that time again to empty your coin jars, piggy banks, and car consoles and support the 2024 Meals on Wheels Change for Change donation drive. Dig deep and give from the heart. Your loose change may not seem like much, but together we can use it to make a huge impact. Celebrating 25 years of serving the community, you can help provide hot meals to some of the most vulnerable members of our country, our seniors. Now, more urgently than ever, we seek your support to meet the growing demand. Donations of any amount are accepted, and while we take the ones that jingle, we prefer the kind that folds. Donate what you can when you see the Meals on Wheels volunteers stationed around Grand Cayman on January 26th and 27th. Take a stand against senior hunger. Join Davenport Development and Radio Cayman in the fight to end senior hunger in the Cayman Islands. Visit mealsonwheels.ky or call 769-1974 to learn more.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks very much for joining us. It is open line. Let's go straight and take this next call. Welcome. Thank you for calling.
I thought I had lost in all those ads.
Yeah, I went home, took a shower, and came back. Now, just kidding. How are you? Hey, listen, that just shows you how popular we are, how our reach is so immense, you know? So you good?
Oh, Sterling. Not too bad. How are you?
Oh, I am. Thank God I am excellent.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Sterling, I didn't call you for this, but I'm going to hit on it.
Of course.
This passport situation here about passport is what is identifying you, who you is, or where you're from?
Well,
what is it?
It's not something only that it does bother would be the easiest word to use, right? Because in the Cayman context, we've allowed so much to happen for so long that we are now failing to appreciate the impact mentally and otherwise that is having on Cayman and on the society. But it also speaks to a deeper issue, and it can lead, as it has done so far, to an ever more divided society, right? So let's say, for instance, you have two people who are going before an employer who are perhaps up for some sort of nomination, a scholarship, a fellowship, something, right? And let's say, for argument's sake, that part of the criteria is, hey, you need to be, my words, a citizen of the country. You need to be, quote unquote, Caymanian, right? One individual has this piece of paper with a stamp. You know, the paper is probably not a fancy embossed paper, it's just a regular paper with got its official stamp on, whatever it comes from, whoever signs it. And the other person goes, geez, I don't have that. But it's a timeliness. There's also, you know, the formalities. And sadly, it may also be used as a way to impede other people getting something, right? But let's put that part aside for now. The person making the assessment looks at it, and everything of the two applications identical. The same age, the same education, experience, the same gender, the same eye color. I mean, everything is identical except one got a little piece of paper with a little stamp on it with a signature and says something about Cayman, the other one but doesn't. They've all sent their passports, birth certificates, blood type, you name it. And I'm being deliberately exhaustive as possible, right? Now, if you look at that and you can extrapolate as much as you can, if you can't, call me and I'll explain it to you again. We are creating an issue, right? But then go back to a gentleman like Dr. Steve McField, someone I think we all love and respect and admire, right? Not just because of his age, but his consistency, right? His courage, his tenacity, the intellect, and the desire through an impassioned plea to speak to the people. If we offend someone like that, right? But then look at the logistics. I'll say this to you consciously. Up until recently, I never used to use the word I. It was always we, right? Not the royal we. It may have been influenced by my coach who said there's no I in team. Now, these recent times, I started to say I, only because I am willing to be held accountable. I am willing to accept responsibility, right? So let's take me for example. I have a voter's ID. I remember, right, how excited and I couldn't wait. I know my birthday was coming up. I know you had to be 18. And I remember going checking on it. And the lady said to me, well, you know, the election isn't for so long and you can't do this until you get this age. And I said, okay, but, you know, I want to plan beforehand. You know, tell me what I need to do, make sure I got it all in order. And the day of, I can come get it. Well, it didn't work so, but I got it. I was excited because this thing meant something to me, as it does today, right? So if I have a voter's ID, and if, as I understand the law, I can only vote if I'm a Caymanian, right? So that piece of plastic card that's laminated that I treasure, if I give that to somebody, and remind me, I say gi, I didn't say give. There's a little Scottish thing, a gi, right? If I give that to somebody, should that not in and of itself, just the possession of that, satisfy any question as to whether or not I'm a Caymanian? If for some two-bit, loud-mud, obnoxious little starry-eyed schmuck to say that it isn't, man, somebody need to be slapped upside the face. Literally, not just figuratively. But it falls back to us as a people. We're doing a disservice and we're increasingly dividing our society. Back to the two individuals. This got to stop, man.
It got to stop. I agree with you.
Yeah, well, thank you.
It got to stop because then I can't find the right word for it right now.
I have a couple, but yes, ma'am.
I have a couple too, but we'll leave it for another time, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But Sterling, when you sit down and know that all you knew was your Cayman Island passport, and now that we're giving PR and everything else, and they're getting the Cayman passport, but they got the Indian passport, they got the American passport, they got the Canadian passport.
The Jamaican, the Honduran, the Cuban, yeah, I get you, I get you.
And they're saying that they are Caymanians. Okay? America, when you go to America and you register up there, you are what is alien? green card holder.
You're a resident alien, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a resident. But here we just giving out PRs and everything else just to make their bodies comfortable and say, well, they got so much right here in Cayman,
right?
And they go and walk on a dog. So I'm going to go and get me a dozen dogs this time. Here.
But it's
somebody can walk them for me.
Yeah, I mean, I respect your thing, but it's not even so much that. I mean, would it surprise you to learn that there are people in Cayman who are here? They don't have PR. They may not even be the age of majority. They may be older, whatever it is, right? But they legally possess, seemingly, a Cayman Islands passport. They're not Caymanian. They weren't born here. Their parents were not born here. Their parents are not Caymanian. But this person possesses a Cayman passport. Would that surprise you if that was the case?
No, it doesn't surprise me at all. Anything is possible in Cayman. You just got to know who you know.
Well, I'll tell you one thing.
Because I tell you, we're out the door. We're out the door. But I just want to say that my close family, two passports, one American, one Caymanian, and one British. I got two, one British and one Caymanian. And my another side of family got two passports, one American, one Caymanian. So, but they are born Americans.
Yeah, well, they have a different system and they themselves. But anyway, I hear you.
Yeah, but I think for that, my time finished.
No, man, you got at least another 1,000 years, but we do have the news break, and I got caught up with you with that. You want to hang on, or you want to say quickly?
I will hang on.
Yeah, we'd have a call after you, so you got to take the news? Man, our news team works so hard, we better take and hear what they have to say. Stay on the line, please. Cool. Stay tuned.
Good.
If they are talking about us,
living in your head rent-free all this time,
we must be relevant. Radio Cayman since 1976. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
A celebration of Caymanian culture and heritage on the Heroes' Day Monday. The traditional award ceremony starts at 9 a.m. Of course, guests and observers need to be in position well before that. Early afternoon, kicking off at 4 p.m., a jam-packed agenda of music and cultural performances in downtown Georgetown, followed by fireworks. In the morning, by the way, you can tune into Radio Cayman for our live coverage of the National Heroes' Day Awards, highlighting the work of cultural artists and creatives. We're usually on the air about 15 minutes before the start time, so about 8:45. In international headlines, 2 weeks of storms have turned roads into icy death traps, frozen people to death from Oregon to Tennessee, and caused power outages that could take weeks to fix. The problem continues to sock both coasts with another round of weather chaos today. The rain, snow, wind, and bitterly cold temperatures in the U.S. have been blamed for at least 50 deaths over the past 2 weeks as a series of storms moved across the country. Schools and roads have closed, and air traffic has been snarled. Japan's spacecraft arrived on the surface of the moon early Saturday, but it wasn't immediately clear if the landing was a success because the Japanese Space Agency said it was, quote, still checking its status. More details about the spacecraft, which is carrying no astronauts, are to be given at a news conference. If the Smart Lander for Investigating Moon, also known as SLIM, landed successfully, Japan would become the fifth country to accomplish the feat after the U.S., Soviet Union, China, and India.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter. Radio Cayman Headline News.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Olga Irene da Costa, 1903 to 1968. Olga Irene da Costa, née Wood, was a loving, caring wife to her husband, Augustine Ponsonby da Costa, and mother to her 7 children. She was well known and respected for her religious beliefs. She was ordained as assistant pastor of the Church of God Full Gospel Hall. She walked many miles visiting and helping people, praying for the sick and witnessing many healings. And having been healed herself, she was known as the Faith Lady. She was a kind-hearted person and never hesitated to share whatever she had with the less fortunate.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your Sister Islands.
Discover all that our Sister Islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for joining us, and thanks too to Ms. John for hanging on. And then as we conclude this conversation, we take the next one. Thank you very much, Mom.
Yes, Mr. Sterling. I went to the Georgetown emergency on Christmas morning, and went there, and my girlfriend took me to the door, and then I walked in for a week and so forth. So security was there, and I asked security, if I could have a wheelchair. So he's pointing his finger at the one in the corner. He said, "See the wheelchair over there?" And I'm like, "Okay." So the woman that was turning on the computer, going in or whatever, she's bringing the computer up. Anyhow, so I just stand there because I didn't want to sit because the seat was too low. And I said, "Are you going to help me with a wheelchair?" He said, "See the wheelchair over there?" So I go to the wheelchair, and the wheelchair locked. And I'm like, I can't deal with this. So I went back to the lady, and she started talking to me. So I wrote down on the paper what I want her to know. And then she pretty quick got the person to come out and bring me in and check me in and so forth and so forth. And I went in the back, and they gave me this gown to put on, and the gown was pretty rough. One of the strings was popped, I couldn't tie. They said that the sheet in the bed was a warm sheet. It was a flat sheet that they had there in the bed. And Sterling, if that was washed on a washboard, that and the gown, it wouldn't have been as wrinkled as it was. And when I touched it, it was just still barely warm, and it's a flat sheet. So I can't see flat sheet keeping warm for no long time except the blanket that went into the heater or whatever. Anyhow, to say all of that, the service wasn't too bad. She took some blood work, and then she told the guy came in and said he was going to hook me up to IV, and I said to him, "Do I really have to hook up to IV?" He said, "Well, he was told to do it." I say, "I really don't think I need an IV, sir. I mean, they're doing their job. Don't get me wrong, right?"
Right.
And I know what I went there for. Anyhow, I said, "Go and tell the doctor that I now do the IVs," because she took the blood, and the blood got take like 2 hours. I said, "Well, can I leave? And then you want to call with my blood work?" And they said he would talk to the doctor. So she didn't come back for a while. So I went to the door. I put on my clothes, and I went to the door, and she said, I soon come. And she would have digged up the computer trying to find history on me and all that kind of stuff and so forth and so forth. And one of the blood works came back while she was there working, and then she was waiting on one more, and she came back then to say that my blood count was good, and gave me a piece of paper with a prescription or 2 on it, and wanted me to go see a certain doctor. So Wednesday now I called to make an appointment to go see my doctor. So I made an appointment, and then they called me back and told me that appointment was already made for me by the emergency section the other day, and it's down for April. I said, well, I got one for I think it's January 20th this month, I believe. I don't want to wait all the way down there to April if I can get this one now with my regular doctor. But to say all of that, Sterling, my heart doctor been trying to get me to do a CT scan for the last 3 months up there, and when he put it in, I went back to him for my visit. He said he didn't go to your your CT scan. I say, sir, no one notified me. He said, but it's in the computer here that you were supposed to go there. I said, I didn't know anything about it, sir. Anyhow, he put it back in the computer. And then he said, if you don't hear from anybody in a big time, go to the hospital and make an appointment yourself. So I did just that. I made an appointment, and I think the appointment was for a couple of weeks well. And then when I rushed myself up in the morning after school, the person would tell me, oh, we just had to cancel out everybody. I'm like, excuse me? When were you going to call me? Anyhow, I still not get no appointment. So when I called the heart doctor the other day to tell him I've seen no CT, haven't done no CT scan, they say, well, you're in here for the 29th of the 28th or something of October for your CT scan. I said, miss, nobody never called and tell me that they had rescheduled my appointment for me. And that's what's happening up at that Georgetown Hospital. I see my cousin went there, they're breaking her neck with her husband. Took him there, took him back home, and now it's her turn to see her doctor. She go back to the doctor, he cancel out. Doctors are canceling and not even telling you nothing. You got to go up to the hospital. You got to break your neck to your appointment. When you get there, your appointment has been canceled. I don't know what's going on at Georgetown Hospital, but somebody need to look into that Georgetown Hospital. It's not all right up there when it comes to these appointments. You got to wait 3 months for appointment. And when your 3 months is almost here, they got to come and tell you that your appointment is canceled. Or when you go there, they're telling you your appointment is canceled. I mean, I've been trying to do a heart test though for the last 3 months now, a CT scan, and I don't get that CT scan yet. But I will leave you with that. I got someone else on line, and I will probably call you.
Well, I hope you get your appointment scheduled in your TT. But thank you for sharing, Mom. Okay?
Cool.
Thanks so much.
Good.
All right. And to the other caller, thank you for holding on. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good. Hi, Sterling. Afternoon.
Hey, Jeans Albert. How are you today, my friend?
Not so bad, doing Sterling.
Sterling Dwayne, man. Sterling Dwayne.
Sterling
Dwayne Ebanks.
Yeah, if my friend had known about me, I know she wasn't going to hang up, so.
No, I think she probably knew it was you. That's why she, wait a minute, let me give way to you. You know?
Maybe so.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, well, I feel bad for what she's saying there, because I know a group of people, that's not what I call for, but I know a group of people came from Cayman Brack some days ago over to Grand Cayman, and they were sent there to Grand Cayman for their medical purposes, and when they get to the Georgetown Hospital, they told them they didn't have no information on them coming from the Brack to Grand Cayman, and they were sent there by the hospital. So I can condone for how she feel. I mean, it's sad, and especially knowing a fact of your heart that if anything come prior to your checks in a medical field, it's supposed to be your heart. Your heart's supposed to come first. That's the first thing. If they hear something about heart, they're supposed to jump to that occasion. But that's the kind of service we received in the Cayman Islands. And like I keep saying, what we got to do? Because sometimes we know what we have and know what people say, but we don't know what we're getting. And I just wanted to mention about the passports. I heard you talking about the passports. That's what basically what
right.
I wanted to ask you. The whole situation with that passport business, Sterling, who have the right to pass the law on these passports, or okay the permission for these passports to be granted in the Cayman Islands? Who has the right is the question.
My understanding is that now our passports are issued by the UK, right? And such that, and this is just generally, right? So again, we leave it to those who know better, and maybe we can seek out to get a definitive answer, right? But my understanding is that the vetting now, in today, not in a time in the past, but now, the vetting, issuing, and all the thing for an application for this Cayman Islands passport is very much similar to what you would do relative to the vetting and issuing for the British passport. Now, the criteria may be a little bit different one for the other. I'm not going to say that I know definitively, but the UK is responsible for issuing our passports. They go through the process. You submit their requisite information.
Aye, that's what I'm talking about. When you put in those requests for those passports, I know. It's just a question that I put in there for you to see how you answer it.
Yeah, man.
I know. Yeah. We understand each other. The thing about it, the whole thing about it is, when it goes through the offices of Georgetown for these so-called foreign passports to be granted, that is what I want to put out there. We know that they are okay in these grants to be okay to being called a Caymanian by holding a piece, because they say they're not holding no such thing as a paper anymore. So now they're holding a passport. So when it goes through these so-called offices that they is okay in it, they are the problem that is creating and that's causing the problem in these islands. If see something come forward, listen to how bad it is. For me as a Caymanian, I am a British citizen. I hold two passports, a Caymanian and a British passport, which covers both. Because we are British citizen, Caymanian, British citizen. When I have to renew my British passport, it takes majority of my life to return. Or even my Caymanian passport takes longer. That my great-great-great-great-grandchildren generation is when it will come back. Now, when the foreigner come in the country, he gets his passport overnight, as to speak, as to say. Now, I'm not saying that reality that it come overnight is a figure of speech.
Right.
But that is how fast the government acts on these people that are getting their right to live in this country under their passports that they're receiving as Caymanian citizens or PR or whatever, however they getting in. Like I say, I remember a former member of the got up and said there's no such thing as a paper Caymanian. But we, the Caymanians that hold birthright and hold passport, can't be recognized who we are. But we got to sit down and suck up and know that those that come here come by plane. We never come in here by no barge, you know. We had 9 months to receive to walk on this earth. 9 months. And after that, we tried trade water and survive for ourselves after our parents raised us up. But these can come here by plane. And only God knows how some I'm getting in here, because I know there ain't no plane flights in Caymanian at a certain time. And I wake up in the morning, I see many new ones walking the face of the road. So that could only mean they're coming in by water as well. And I know they're not coming in on the barge. If that's so well, I got how keep my eye on the dock every time the barge come. But these people holding papers out of the blue, and by overnight situation, they can be dealt with. They go to the hospital, they sit there, and by a couple of minutes, they have their medical. They gone out, they get their papers. I was just talking to one yesterday in the hospital, the matter of fact. And I just want to be curious to see what he would say, because I'm a person that I pick him out quick. And I asked him, I say, how long it was since you did your medical? And he said, now I'm trying to figure out what trying to get at. And he said, it been now about a year. I said, oh, so it's been a year, not 6 months. It's been a year now, you're doing over your medical. So he said, yeah, after he's doing medical now, he can stay for as long as he wants after that, or whatever the government sees fit. I said, okay, so that's how it works. That is how it works. For foreigners in this country to come in and clean people's yard, that's how it works. That is how the government have the system sorted out. It is like what one police officer from England had told me. The system is not here to protect and help us. The system is here for the foreigner to protect them. It's not here to help us, Sterling. And that is sad, because me as a generation came up, I'm going to tell you something. You come from Bacchus. I was born in Georgetown.
But I come from Boo Point. And don't make nobody tell you but it called Booby Point. It's no such thing. It called Boo Point. That's Sport Bay, Tiger Bay. And that is where I hold my papers for. And it's hard to know that we got to fight for my child to go into a place and they got to produce a passport. If they can't produce a passport, they can't say that they Caymanians, and I'm standing up there as a Caymanian parent right next to my child. I mean, when you stop and think about it, Sterling, we can go on and on. But remember when the census came around some years back when they did the census, you know what one of the questions on the paper was? When they asked me if I had children, I told them, yes, I have 4. They asked me by a man or by a woman. If that woman was a man, I would have boxed him in the mouth when he asked me that. It was a woman that asked the question, and I almost run her out my yard for asking me such a question, but she said she had to ask the question now on the paper. As a Caymanian, you are coming to ask me about my children being born, where they're from, how they become Caymanians, and they were born right there in Faith Hospital. Just step up and try to change something in the system of issuing out these passports to people and don't want to take the Cayman people by who they are. Even if you go in businesses, Sterling, and someone know you coming out of Barkers, coming out of the Hard West, they stand right in front of you and they'll swear they don't know who you is because you know why? They got to do their job. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, boy. Common sense not so common anymore.
You telling me? You telling me?
Yeah, man. I hear you, man. I hear you.
Anyway, boy, we talk later.
All right, boy. Talk to you later, man. Thanks, right?
Yeah, man, cool. All right, yeah, man.
Good. And pick up what the callers have shared, take us in a direction if you wish, but maybe the issue is compounded and maybe we better be careful that it is not another thing, whether deliberate or inadvertent, that leads to greater division. And if it's deliberate and if it's a conscious sort of re-engineering, we got to be mindful. I want us to come together as a people. Like many of you, we have, thankfully, friends from all walks of life, from all parts of the world. And that's what makes Cayman such a remarkable place. Just as an example, I mean, there is no question that there are other places that some of you say are even more beautiful. Some of you say are almost as beautiful. It's a matter, of perspective. A friend just shared a photo, of a garden setting, and I think it's an absolute fantastic place. Now, it's not in Cayman, but it's absolutely gorgeous. But Cayman has much to offer, and we better work together to make sure we preserve it, promote it, protect it. Let's take this next call, though. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Dwayne.
Hey, how are you today?
Fine, thank you. Happy New Year to you.
And to you, a very, very happy New Year.
Okay. Is it open mic?
It is, yes.
Okay, I guess I can be the air for the people that are not saying anything. One minute. Regarding the banks, we're calling on the government that need to look into this matter. I went to the bank this morning and I was told from the staff at the counter that effective next month, that's Cayman National Bank, if you do not have an account at the bank, you cannot cash in a check. I know for a fact, no Bank of Butterfield, if you do not have an account there, even if the member that writes you a check, you can't go to Bank of Butterfield and cash it. Now, I don't know what kind of situation they're putting us in. I don't know what's the motive behind it, but we're calling the government to look into this matter because this is ridiculous. They charges you $10 now to cash a check if you don't have an account there. And now they're going to turn around and tell you now that if you don't have an account, you're not cash it at all.
Wow.
So are they forcing us now to everybody to go back to cash? Or what is the motive? Because this is ridiculous. I mean, we're calling the government to look into this matter. So I don't know if you can get a message across. I guess they're listening, and I'm sure Savvy is listening. But we need somebody to stay air for us because this is not right. They're putting us in a tough shoe because there's lots of people that still write checks,
right.
Their companies to make sure that they can keep track of their funds better. It's a better way of facing money. But now, if you are telling me now that it's not good I write no check to Dwayne because Dwayne don't have an account at my national bank. So what am I supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially look all the construction people that get paid now on Fridays by check. If they don't have an account, what they're supposed to do, put their money, they got deposit their money, got wait 3 days to clear. What they're supposed to do in 3 days while they're waiting to get money to live? Everyone has to live from paycheck to paycheck now.
Mm-hmm.
So people can't afford to wait 3 days to get their money cash. If their clients is allowed to use a checkbook to write a check, and you got another racket, because again, Cayman National Bank, if you go, like I have a U.S. account, like a checking account actually with U.S. account. If I read a U.S. account over $1,000, they charge me a 1%. So what's the purpose of me opening a U.S. account? What's the purpose of me getting a checking account? I mean, our money comes in by credit card machine. It comes in U.S. dollars. And if I go right to my people to pay out and it's more than $1,000, they lose.
So, hang on. I think I heard what you say, but would you, just for my benefit, just repeat that? Are you saying that in your checking account, if the check that you write payable to somebody is $1,000 or more, you get charged because of this sum that is 1%?
Yes, sir. 1% over $1,000.
Wow.
Over $1,000, the bank charge you a 1% if you want that check back in U.S. Now, if I write a U.S. check and the people can't get U.S., then there's no purpose me giving them a U.S. check.
Right. Now, I understand that if you go to the counter at some of the banks and you take out currency from the teller, from your account, and it's not CI dollars, it's, some other currency, that they charge you a withdrawal fee, a percentage.
So if it's a U.S. account, I go to the counter and I want to take U.S. out of my account, the bank is going to charge me a fee. Is that fair? I mean, what is the purpose of me opening a U.S. account then?
Well, this is where I think, like the gentleman I called earlier, our parliamentarians perhaps need to consider, some of the operational things that affect our people, maybe through legislation, maybe through the monetary authority. Who knows? And I don't think you're saying, or anybody's saying, that businesses are not in the business of making profits, but there must be some.
They charge you a fee and everything else. If you go to get a print out of your account, they charge you $15.
Mm-hmm.
I think some banks going up now to $25 just to get a print out of your account. So it's not like they're not making the money. They charge you bank fees.
Yeah. Well,
so it's not like they're not making the money, but they're charging extra. I mean, I don't know if they're forcing people now. So I mean, if I get a check, if I have an account at Cayman National Bank, and you give me a Bank of Butterfield check, two things I got to do: be able to deposit it into my Cayman National, wait 3 days for it to be cleared, or do the check.
Well, I wonder what would happen if you went to the bank. Again, let's just use U.S. cash.
Yeah.
Somebody maybe realizing that would be the challenge, so they took the money from their account. They gave it to this person, and this person then goes to the bank and says, I want to deposit it to my account. I wonder what would happen then. Would they have to... And I'm not talking no large sum, let's say $2,000, $3,000.
They got proof where that funds come from?
Why? What are we doing? Huh? That's the question you asked earlier. Interesting.
Yeah.
What's happening to us?
Where are we going? I mean, what are we coming to? Because, I mean, this is terrible. I mean...
Right.
I mean, most companies don't walk with that quantity of cash. I mean, especially the construction site now.
Right.
I mean, on a Friday, you got some construction sites got paid out $10,000. They're not walking $10,000 cash in their hand.
Well,
so that's why they give everybody that check. But if the people can't get their money cash, what's the purpose of giving them a check?
Right. Well, thanks for raising that. And I made a quick note. Be nice if we have a responsiveness on a part of the banking sector, perhaps even the monetary. But thanks, huh?
Thank you very much.
Have a wonderful afternoon. Talk to you very soon again.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Let's take the call. Go to break. I got to take a break, then take the call. Stay tuned.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. for all occasions and celebrations. Let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have our very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old girl.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin are the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Welcome to a new year with Digicel. Elevate your mobile experience by switching to our prepaid or postpaid plans. Enjoy more data, seamless communication, and uninterrupted entertainment. Plus, make the switch now for a chance to win exciting rewards. Stay connected, entertained, and make 2024 your year with Digicel. Because better connections make a better year.
It's Open Line on Talk Today. Call 1-800-534-8255. 949-8037. 949-6990. Or 925-3261. Call now.
Hey, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us as we go straight to the phones. Welcome. Thanks for calling. Yeah, hello. Okay, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. All right, but there's a call. There was a call. Where's the call? Well, maybe it's under the mattress. 949-8037, 949-6990. If you're there, let's see if we can find it somewhere on our end. 925-3261 is the WhatsApp number to call. Okay. All right. So I'm told to the caller, for some reason, they can hear you in one part of the studio, but we can't hear you on air. So just un momento, por favor. We'll get to you in a second. Just hold on for. It's unfortunate, huh? Sometimes little bits and pieces, I always joke and jest and say it must be gremlins in the system. Maybe it's overnight, the Warriors are at play. So to that caller that was just on just then, if you can. Is it fixed now, Mr. P? Nope. So the WhatsApp not working either. Yeah, boy. We'll get it, man. We'll get it. They say patience is a virtue, but don't pray for patience because you may be giving something else. All right, 949-8037 to the individual that was trying to WhatsApp call. For some reason, they could hear you on the studio side, but they couldn't connect you on the radio side. We have another call. Let's see what happens. Welcome. Good afternoon.
Hello, Dwayne. How are you doing?
Hey, how are you, man? How are you?
Good, not bad. Just to clarify something on the lady's point a while ago. The government can't do anything about it because they're the one that sign us up to this compliance with the bank to get off the black list, red list, pink list, whatever list you want to call it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's some of the compliance. So basically, they want everybody to have a bank account so they know that you have an account and legitimate means of getting funds in or out of the account. So, yeah, she's right. If you write a check to someone that does not have a bank account, they won't cash it. I think it's wrong because, obviously, if I write a check and I'm in my compliance and I'm giving you a check that I already done compliance for, why they won't accept it is beyond me. And if they're not going to accept it in that manner, why does it take so long for a local check to be drawn on?
Right.
Right. So the only other option you mostly have now as a company is to do online transfers, check directly to other companies, and I guess they'll deposit directly into their account. Again, that's just for to make sure that everybody that doing business here basically have a bank account. And that's some of the compliance, I guess, that the bank has to do that we've been signed up to keep us off the list, I suppose. So the government can look at it, but this is what we've been signed up to, or I should say.
Yeah, I mean, as I listen to you, I gather from the local banking community, if I can put it that way, the domestic sector, that increasingly there's growing frustration from almost every type of customer. I'm not going to try to speak from a position of knowing a little bit more than I've been told, nor from a place where people, and as I said, that there is another attempt at a WhatsApp call. Let's see what we can do with that one in a second, but not to rush you, just to let my people know on this side. But from the individuals who work in corporate, to those who work in construction, to those who work in hospitality, to those who are entrepreneurs and the single sole proprietor, they seem to not only have issues relative to quote unquote the compliance requirements, but the frustrations of the banking sector, the amount of fees, the not just the quantity of fees, but the actual fees themselves, how seemingly expensive they may be. But also the frustrations of trying, like as the lady who said, writes a check, but they can't get it cashed. Isn't that something that we should be able to have some level of input relative to the local banking?
Well, I know they're not saying that you can't get it cashed. They're saying that you can't get it cashed if you don't have a bank account.
Yeah.
It's them, right?
But
so if you go to your bank, they already have a bank account. Your bank will cash it for you, or you deposit in your account.
Okay.
But what I understand from it, because it has happened to me where I write checks to people and they can't get it cashed, and it's because you don't have accounts there, right? So they used to charge them $10 or whatever the fee was to change it, which I thought was ridiculous because I already paid money to have a check.
Right, agree.
Right? So I always thought that was ridiculous. Anyway, I argued that point with the bank on numerous occasions to no avail. Now they have it now that if you write a check to an individual, they can't cash it unless they have an account there, or they go deposit in their bank account, whichever bank they bank with. That's just part of the compliance to make sure you have an account and handling money that they can control that, all this. And obviously the fees are becoming really ridiculous, right? But, what are you going to do when you can't deal with cash anymore? Because if you start dealing with cash, then what happens, you question where you get the cash, somewhere you get the cash, blah, blah, blah. So it's all a control and compliance issue, right? But, if I don't think in a local setting like this, if I write you a check and you deposit in your account, it should not take 3 days to be verified, the check is good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because we're dealing in a local system here.
Right.
Right. So if they're going to implement those kind of rules, then, the minute you go and deposit your check in your account, you should have the monies in there.
Yeah.
Right. But I kind of suspect the way that I look at things now is the bank literally don't want, and as you go through each bank, you realize that the customer service is getting lesser and lesser.
Mm-hmm.
The reason for that is simply they don't really want you in the building. Right? If they can have you do everything online, that's what they would prefer. They don't want to be handling cash, and they simply want to be cashless and everything is online. I mean, that is simply the way that they're moving to. Right?
Yeah.
And a lot of older Caymanians and a lot of older people, they only simply like to deal with cash and still like paper receipts. Right? Okay? So this is one of the things that the transition over to this that we've been signed up to, and this is just what it is. This is what Cayman Islands have signed up to. So the government can't look at it and do anything about it unless we end back up on the list that we're trying to pay off of.
Right. But what about the whole issue some have shared that if they go to other jurisdictions, including the U.S., and they want to open up an account, we've heard callers share that when their children go to off to university, wherever that is, they open up on a bank account, that they satisfy the requirements of the bank, but the process is not only easy and less cumbersome, it's less frustrating compared to here.
This is something that I've said before, right?
Mm-hmm.
So of course it is easier in those countries because they don't have the stipulations that we have, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you can think about this, okay? Could I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's a whole bunch of money laundering people flying in here briefcases of cash on this island?
No, I would say that the money comes in here primarily. My perception, if it's coming out of London or New York or other places, the money already in the system. So if there's any laundering going on, it's elsewhere.
Okay, so if that's the case, Cayman and the government, successful government, allow us to be in movies and allow us to be portrayed as a huge money laundering capital of the whole entire universe. We don't combat that in any way. We've had you saw that documentary, Cayman, UK's £1 billion island or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
That basis said, and then it was lies, right? But nobody really combated that and said this is not the process.
Right.
If he said, I remember he took up a piece of paper and go, I can just fill this paper out and I have an account. That was a lie then. Definitely a bigger lie now. Right? Okay? But sometimes it takes people 4 and 5 months to get an account.
Yeah.
Right? So nobody in government combat and said this is not the type of jurisdiction we are. When people sit back there and allow these people to make these claims, and people believe that you're a huge tax haven, not knowing, right?
Yeah.
It is so expensive to live here, my friend. And we do pay taxes. We just pay indirect taxes.
Yeah, we call it something else, right?
Okay? But it's so expensive to live here, they don't understand the struggles. They believe that everybody here is pouring in with money, right? And everybody here is living really well. Why people here are suffering? Right?
But
I saw another video went out online the other day, and I laughed because it says Cayman is a playground for the rich and famous. Is that a joke?
I was going to ask you about that. I don't know if that's the same video, but I just shared that.
Is that a joke?
Yeah.
You're going to put out something like that, and you allow these things to be said, right? While you have Caymanians, and I stress Caymanians suffering. And we don't really do anything to protect them,
Right.
Okay? Because we allow Caymanians, right, to go away, get an education, come back to Cayman, can't find a job. Cost of living is so high that they can't live here in the first place. So they end up leaving their island and going somewhere else, right? And then, if they do go away and come back here and try to work, it's so hard for them to get a job.
Yeah.
Right?
Let me...
They end up being fought out anyway, so they leave.
Yeah.
So with all our Cayman, we send away to educate and supposed to be coming back here with experience. My friend, they can't live here.
Yep.
My friend, they can't find a job here. What happens, they leave, and then you don't have that experience coming back into the island because we don't have avenues, and the politicians are not finding avenues to keep these people here.
Yeah. I want to pick up that point in my third thing, if you remind me. But first, when you said video, there was perhaps BBC, but something out of the UK, a documentary that talked about the purchasing of properties in a particular high-end area, allegedly by according to this, a number of the Russian oligarchs. That was the phrase I believe was assigned. And seemingly allegations that these properties are left vacant, and the allegations of money laundering and the like. You remember seeing something similar to that as well?
I saw something like that, but
Right.
that is true. I mean, obviously, you may have some of the money laundering and in different ways here. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that you don't have it, right?
Right.
But I know that you don't have people flying in with buckets of cash and going.
No, fair enough. But this is purchasing the property in the UK, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can see something like that fall through the cracks.
Right.
Happen.
Right.
But point being is the government finds themselves in a position where they allow these things to be spread. And if you go away, Dwayne, if you fly in and you tell people, oh, you don't pay your taxes or the money laundering capital, that's all you know. That's all anybody. They even know where Cayman Islands is.
Yeah.
And they don't even know where it is on the map.
Yeah.
Right? They know that part.
Right.
Okay? So that's something that has to be and should have been combated a long time ago to make people understand this where we are. When the guy came here and did his documentary about opening accounts and how easy it is to do all this stuff, and nobody put out a video and said, listen, this is the real process. And the government should have done that. This is the real process of opening up our bank account. Like that. I don't care where you're from.
Yeah, man.
Worse if you're Cayman and it takes even longer.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm just saying that, right?
Yeah.
Say that we don't protect our people here, and the politicians don't, and that's what pressures, not just these ones in today, the ones before.
Right.
They see past the Caymanians and look behind the Caymanians, the people that are supposed to be behind them, and put them forward. Right? Is that literally what happens? Losing our children that go away and this irks me bad, right? Because I have a young man right now. I don't like to speak about it anymore because it falls on deaf ears. Right? Okay, he left for education, come back here. I'm helping him to start up a certain business that can benefit all of Cayman. We've been battling this now for 2.5, 3 years. Okay,
yeah,
that will literally benefit all of Cayman Islands.
Yeah,
Cleaner food, cleaner energy, cheaper price.
Yep.
Right? You would think something like that would be easy to do, but no. Right? If it was somebody else that flew in here, I can more than guarantee it would have been probably done already.
Yeah.
Right? So these are the kind of things that bugs me. Anything a Caymanian put his hand in, when he's in front of it, it's always an issue that he'll never get it done. You better stay behind if you can. Right? Okay? That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way I think here you're going to get through. And it saddens me all the time. I've spoken to a Caymanian, and I know I'm not going to call the names. They're leaving the island. They leave it because they cannot afford to live here. Right? They cannot simply afford to live here. This is where that person grew up. This is where they call home. They can't afford to live here. There's nothing here now, and it's sad to see that everybody else come in here and finding jobs. And I said to him, and it made me think, and I think I asked you the question before. How much people do you think that flew in here and plane and become millionaires or become wealthy off of the backs of this country or this island? Tons, a lot of them. We've recycled through a lot, and some of them stayed here. And then you sit down and think, if we only have 20,000 Caymanians, how much of them that all these things that we've done benefited that turn them into millionaires? Right? That's a question to be asked, right? Because if we'll have 85,000 people and some of them come here and become millionaires, and you can see that. I know a bunch of them, right? And then I look at my 20,000 Caymanians and look, how much you got in? And you're the one that's doing the voting, You're the one that actually picking the government. Right? So if you picking the government and the government hasn't really done anything to benefit you, why you continue to do so? Maybe we just need to have a real protest and nobody vote at all and see what happens, right? Because that's the only way these people that understand that you need to look out for us, right? You need to look out for us. You can't do the same things all the time. Literally, Dwayne, we've been talking about the same things over and over and over again. Election cycle after election cycle. Jobs for Caymanians. Houses for Caymanians. All these benefits for Caymanians. Education for Caymanians. Huh? Okay? So we do all these things and talk about all these things, and these are all smoke and mirrors. So we allocate, which I'm happy about. The government allocate a bunch of money so that Caymans get educated. What are they coming back to then? You're spending the money. You're spending government money to give them scholarships to get them educated. Yeah. What are they coming back to? Should you have an avenue for them to come back to?
This is it, right? And this is kind of why at the outset when I asked the question, because I liken it to those of us who go to church and Sunday school and whatever, or Saturday school, the teachings of Christ, when he goes into the temple and he see what's happening, he overturns the tables, right? And sometimes that's presented to us as if, this little fella walks in there and all polite and kind and quiet. I saw it different. I see the man go in and say, oh, look here, one I can with, and had throw two shoes and had a few words with him and say, listen, if I come back and see this nonsense again, you know what'll happen, right? Why I say that is that we're not willing to stand in the gap. We're not willing to speak out and speak against the stupidness, right? Whether it's stuff that the people in the private sector see relative to the banking, whether it's complaints about government, some of its bureaucracy, whether it's this idea of, the definition of Cayman, how do you do that? The need to identify your people so that there isn't this growing division, right? But what if all that is deliberate to create a divided society?
Well, I don't know if it's deliberate, Dwayne. I can tell you what I believe it is. It simply boils down to one thing.
Mm-hmm.
We are looking out for people that fly in here more than people that was born here. Simple as that.
Okay.
But everything that has been put in place has been put in place to make it life easier for the people that fly in here.
But I think that...
Which in turn makes it a little bit harder for the people that live here.
Right.
Meaning that true born grassroots,
Right.
Simple as that.
So in hearing you say that, I interpret that to mean everybody, not just the person with the briefcase and the smile who's so-called foreign investor, but everybody. Because what I'm gathering from people, it would appear the gentleman prior to the call sounded like, if you come in here and you're given a work permit or somewhere you're here legally or illegally, you can navigate this system easier, whether you are making an application to government.
Let me share this with you, Dwayne. Right? But
No, go ahead, man.
I'll give you a perfect example.
Yeah, man.
There has been Caymanians here
Mm-hmm.
that have got caught with unlicensed firearms.
Uh-huh.
Where do they end up?
In jail.
Okay. There have been people here that have flown in with unlicensed firearms. Where do they end up?
Why? The first flight that they were booked on, they continue.
Why?
Why? You answer that. I'm not sure.
So to me, that's a perfect example. I'll give you one story before I leave.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were a little bit frustrating for me and for my son.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So I'll share this with you. So my son rides dirt bikes. That's what he likes to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't allow him to ride on the main road because it's illegal.
But also safety, right?
Okay? Yes, it's illegal. Right? So I bought a trailer, have a dirt bike. I carry him places to ride.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's what I do. I carry him and I watch him ride. I carry him places to ride. My son was riding his bike on my property. This property belongs to me.
Yep.
My property.
Yep.
Okay? Police comes there and tell my son he needs to have a license to ride a bike. Now,
Okay.
This is right beside my house on my property.
Mm-hmm.
So my son obviously calls me. I walk out there and go, what's the problem? Say, well, he needs a license. I said, no, he's on my property.
Yeah.
He don't need a license to ride on my property. That property belongs to me. Private property, and that's my property, and that's there for him to ride as much as he wants.
Yep.
Okay? Then I asked a question. I said, you drive all the way down here to come after my son for riding his bike on my property. And I see scooters on the main road, no license, no insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay? I see electric dirt bikes on the island, no license, no insurance, no helmets, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Who they occupied by?
Who riding them, right? Mm-hmm.
Why aren't you pulling those people over? And my son asked the same question. Dad, I need to have a license for this, but yet still this is what I see on the road. Okay?
So
right? You understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah. So why, you see, and I'm glad you raised that, right? Because some hearing it would say, boy, I'm glad you shared it. Some hearing it would say, he creating trouble. But the point is, as I listen to you, if we're having a divided society where this can apply to those because of who they are, but not to these over here because of who they are, we are...
I want to be straight in the drain. I don't have nothing against any foreigner come here.
No. Exactly.
Zero. Okay, zero, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But, right, all the laws and opportunities should be the same. As a matter of fact, Cayman should get greater opportunities than about flying here.
In their country?
Right? In their country.
Okay.
And on the island. Caymanians should be put first. And I see it. It hasn't been done in a long time. I don't see it.
Yeah.
Okay? So we should be put first, which is not happening, haven't been happening.
Yeah. Well, let me go one step further, right, and see if you agree with this or if it's just, an anomaly. The individuals who would say that they're foreign national, because they don't have a Cayman passport, they don't have PR, they don't have status, by their own admission, right? These are foreign nationals, whether they're long-term visitors, whether they're people who have been here for extended periods of time. My observation, when those individuals speak out for Cayman, speak out against some of the injustices that occur to Caymanians, they themselves sometimes suffer. Just like when a Caymanian says, wait a minute, this looks wrong. This looks like you're being prejudiced against Caymanians. Have you noticed that as well? So the foreign nationals who stands for the good interests of the Cayman Islands and its people sometimes seem to, suffer the stick as well.
Sometimes so, but people need to get, and it has to come, Dwayne, if it's not coming,
Mm-hmm.
you have children.
Thank God, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you're at your house, you do things a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Your children grow up with you, they must know how you do things. So if you leave your shoe by the door,
Mm-hmm.
your children know that when the friends come or whatever case, the shoe stays by the door.
Right.
And if you don't, if I don't tell you to come inside with your shoes, take it off.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't wear shoes in my house.
Right.
Right? That's your rules, that's your rules.
Exactly.
When anybody come to your house, if Carol Lawrence come to your house, you can tell me to take off my shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't allow shoes in my house.
Mm-hmm.
So when I in there, Dwayne, I have to do what your rules of your house is.
Right.
Simple fact of the matter, your children grow up with that.
Mm-hmm.
So if our government water down rules for people that flying in here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Water it down and expect Caymanians to abide and make them have the stiffest part of the rules and the sufferation of those rules. What do you think happened? Caymanians start simply not caring and start doing this, and it becomes turmoil, and here we are, right? Okay? We have this dream for Caymanians, and you know what we've been doing? And I say this all the time. You can drive, you don't have to take my word for it. You can drive around, and it sounds good, when you say you're building houses and giving houses to Caymanians. It sounds good. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But when you give a house to somebody, Dwayne, okay? You take a house and give it to somebody, that person cannot maintain that house and have the ability to maintain that house. What happens to the house?
Mm.
You have just given them a bigger debt than what they had prior to not having a house, right? Because they can't maintain the house.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things come with the maintenance of houses.
Right.
You look around, you can see it, right? And unless we take Caymanians and give them jobs and then help them get houses, then it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's a problem if you can't put Caymanians in good jobs and make sure they have good jobs and make sure they can make good money on their island that they are from and the children can be happy and then turn around and help them get a house to maintain it, right? Okay? But
Mm-hmm.
you're going to go, they don't have a good job, they can't get a house, they can't pay a mortgage, so you're going to help them get a house, but then they can't take care of the house after you give it to them. Does that make any sense to you?
Well,
It don't make any sense to me.
No,
I
I
say I'm giving and helping Caymanians to get a house. But you also have to put them in a position, my friend, to be able to maintain the house and not come back to you. Right? Okay? And that's one of the things that you do and every parent do when they teach your children certain things. Teach them these things to let them out in society, to make sure they're okay in society.
But I think your logic is sound. But I also gathered from some individuals that these, for want of a better phrase, these affordable housing schemes, subdivisions and developments, that many of the individuals who are purchasing those properties are not Caymanian.
Probably so. Probably so. I don't know, so I can't speak to that.
No.
So I drive around and look at the ones that have been done a while back.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at them, my friend, I shake my head because this is what we end up doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is what we end up doing, and we do these things, and we continue to beat up our chest, and this is what we're doing. And realistically, we're leaving the Caymanians behind.
Yeah.
Honestly speaking, that's simply every step forward is about 10 steps back for Caymanians, and Caymanians run the country. Yeah. Caymanians run the island. Caymanians make all the laws, and Caymanians vote for those Caymanians and make the laws.
Right. It's almost like boasting that you fixed a pothole in a road or put up a street light when, you got people out of house and home, no scholarship, no
and
medical.
Since you bring that up, that's another thing. And sometimes here, politicians come out and talk about, I put up speed bumps or street lights. Is that really an accomplishment?
relative to...
It's not really an accomplishment.
Hmm.
I don't hear about no speed bump and things that you put in. I don't hear about no light poles and stuff that you put in. Right?
Yeah. We have the news. Do you want to call back? Do you want to hang on, or you want to call it the day?
No, I'll call it a day. I just want to leave it that. I'm pretty sure you have other people that want to call in.
I always like listening to you,
I
man.
just want to share that, Dwayne, because people in Cayman, and
Yeah.
my closing will be this. Make a list. You've said it on the radio the other day. Make a list of all the things that all the laws in this island that has been passed to benefit you, the Caymanian, that have made your life positively well and your children's life. Come up with that list. And then think about all the laws and stuff that has been done in this island that has not benefited you or your children that you have to leave. Put that list together and see which one is greater. And then we start talking about it.
Good way to analyze it, man. So make a list and see what benefits you and what may have hindered, right? All right.
Correct. Thank you.
You're most welcome. All right, let's do the news. Join us after. It's open line, so we want to hear from you. Stay tuned.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
It will be Saturday, January 20th, 9 a.m. through 5 p.m. The annual Cayman Islands Orchid Society show is here. Location, Agricultural Showgrounds, Agricola Drive, Lower Valley, Bodden Town. A delightful exhibition of compellingly beautiful orchids, accessories, and implements. Expand your horizons, grow your knowledge, be a student of orchids for a day. Classes, briefing sessions around species, plant requirements, orchid care, manage your plants. Save the date, Saturday, January 20th, the annual Orchid Society show and tell. The Agricultural Showgrounds. Bring the family, bring a friend. Orchids, no plants, no bloom like an orchid.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Dwayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skin care, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drporterkman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
Information, entertainment, inspiration.
Covering Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, Cayman Brac.
Since 1976 till now.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
With your latest headlines, I'm Jevi Ebanks. Pelinda Disniaki was found guilty of indecent assault of a 15-year-old girl on a public bus. The verdict came down yesterday, January 18th. In international news, Prince Harry has withdrawn his libel claim against the Mail on Sunday publisher, Associated Newspaper says. The Duke of Sussex, 39, had sued over an article about his publicly funded security arrangements when visiting the UK after stepping back as a senior royal. In an article on the Daily Mail website, the paper said that he had abandoned his case hours before a court deadline. It said the prince would be liable for the publisher's £250,000 legal costs. Two Madonna fans are suing the U.S. singer for being late by more than 2 hours for a show last month in New York, according to court documents. They state that the show was meant to start at 8:30 p.m. on all 3 nights, but in each case, it did not begin until after 10:30 p.m., ending around 1 a.m. The case says they would not have paid for tickets had they known it would have finished so late. The BBC has asked Madonna, Live Nation, and Barclays Center for comment. That's your latest headlines. I'm Jevi Ebanks.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
It's Open Line on Talk Today. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-8037, 949-6990, or 925-3261. Call now.
Hey, welcome back. Thank you so much. Look at that. Look up at the clock and it says 7 minutes after 2. Man, it's a Friday. I love myself some Fridays. But I want to hear from you. 949-8037, 949-6990, or of course you can WhatsApp 925-3261. You can call. Did we see the missed calls on the WhatsApp? Yeah, there was one a while back. Try it again. Try it again and share with us if you wish as we get into it. 925-3261. What do you say, Paul? You want to read the WhatsApp for me? Read it for me now. Come on, man. Let's put another voice into the equation. Come on, Mr. Carl. What do you say? This WhatsApp listener writes, the caller is right. I did work experience at a bank in the UK, and say what? That was the first thing the conversation was about when I was told, when I told them I was from Cayman. The discussion of money laundering, the perception. Let's take this call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Hey, good afternoon. How you doing, Sterling?
Hey, excellent. How are you today, man?
Good, man. Just want to offer a quick question regarding the banking system services.
Uh-huh.
As you mentioned, the government has done a lot of work to make sure that we meet all the requirements and the regulations around the world, all the various agreements and everything, right?
Okay.
But on the local scene, the services don't seem to be keeping up. For instance, for a big financial center like this, with the tourism industry especially, basic services, money transfer services, Venmo, Zelle, those types of cash app, things like that. Those are things that visitors come here expecting to use. Often they prefer electronic transactions themselves.
Mm-hmm.
A place like Cayman, we don't offer those things, not even to our own consumers, the banking consumers.
Mm.
So those are things, I mean, while we're still talking about checks and deposits and fees, the rest of the world isn't talking about that anymore.
Mm-hmm. So why do you think that is then, that those sort of payment methods and
I have no idea because
okay.
Obviously, it those things tie into what the banks seem to want, which is non-contact,
right.
Not no bricks and mortar electronic transfers.
Cheaper for them, don't have to hire staff, right?
So it seems to be what they want, but yet the services are not offered.
Okay. Well, in addition to that, hopefully maybe connected, if they're not, they being the local banking sector, are not embracing that technology that it seems to be available to everybody everywhere else, right? And maybe, as you shared, the clientele that come here as visitors, they're accustomed to that because it's something they use wherever they're from. If that's one thing that is being neglected or not available, what about the allegation, okay, we're compliant with the international, criteria and whatever else, but how does that translate into the local sector being seemingly frustrated with opening an account and operating the account? Shouldn't there be some way of either through legislation, through the monetary authority or some other to say, okay, bank, you need to be able to be a little bit more accommodating to facilitate the local banking sector. We're not going to break any laws. We're not going to, deny that we need to be compliant in whichever way, but
right.
surely.
But I think I'll leave it there because obviously I have no answer for the reason why. So maybe somebody from the banking association or a local bank can explain to you why, or to explain to the public why those services aren't offered.
Okay.
All right. Have a good weekend, sir.
Hey, thank you for playing along. Anybody else wants to weigh in? 949-837, 949-6990. WhatsApp 925-32621. What I'm hearing though, a lot of us have comments. Certainly a few have some questions. But is it an unwillingness, lack of courage to stand in the gap and speak out? I mean, take for instance, let's go back to the first issue that has been an issue for ever so long. And if you talk to anybody, they either laugh at you and say, boy, you fool, or they join you in your frustration and say, man, that really true. Take the British passport and the Cayman's passport, put them side by side. Again, just generally speaking, I'm told that because the UK controls the issuance of both, it's not much difference in terms of, the process now. But take as someone said during the break, take the two of them, and at the front, there's some writing in it. Read both what's written in the Cayman Islands passport and the British passport. See if you see a difference. Let's take this call. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Mr. Sterling?
Yes, ma'am. How are you again? Welcome back.
Good. Sterling, looking at our roads, traffic, and all of these unlicensed, those trotters on the road here that could cause accidents and has no insurance, no license, no nothing, and weaving between traffic here and there.
Yeah.
And it's like there's no law for them. They can. It seems like they can do what they want to do, and there on Eastern Avenue and throughout the island, not include the visitors downtown Georgetown, because there should be a big sign that says jaywalking, period. But I feel that we should have some sort of sign or some law in here, jaywalking, because you got people, when you are driving, Sterling, they are walking right out in the front of you and expect you to stop immediately and don't dare hit me. Like, that's what the attitude is. They are not respecting the traffic. You don't even know that they are coming between another car to come out in the front of you. And, something needs to be done, because, Sterling, our roads are getting more and more busier, and people are driving so reckless. They are breaking and not going here and there, and then when they get to a 2 seconds driving, they're going to make a left turn or a right turn. Can you imagine? Why could you just stay behind me?
Yeah. There are some issues that can be addressed, should be addressed, and certainly need to be addressed.
Exactly. I see Saturday gone week I was coming down, And I'm taking my sweet time. Oh, Sterling, what is 30 miles an hour mean on a road? And then you got 3 lanes. Do we have a fast lane, a slow lane, and a slow? What is a fast lane, a slow lane, and an extra slow lane? And it's still saying 30 miles an hour for the whole section. So how can you say we got a fast lane when you're supposed to be doing 30 miles an hour? You see where I'm coming from?
I hear you.
Some people say, "Oh, you should be in the right lane if you want to drive slow.
Yeah.
Get in the fast lane."
But
Which one is the fast lane?
But even if that was the case, right? In the UK, I'm told that the fast lane, so to speak, is that right lane. In the US now, the fast lane would be the left lane, right? The outside lane, right? So many of us bunks between those two countries. One drive on the right-hand side of the road and one drives on the left-hand side of the road. So,
exactly.
And if we look at our road markings, we see them with white lines and some with yellow lines. Is there a need for it to be, one color and one color only?
One color only. It should only be one color.
But look
Where
at
all these colors are coming up from, I don't even know.
look at our use of
Island.
right. Anyway, you go ahead. Let me listen. I can always talk later.
Yeah, I think we got Haddiston bring a law in for jaywalking for our people who live in amongst us here on this island. Really, really, really and truly, I'm serious. I see too many close calls every day, driving on the school bus or just driving regular. People are just walking out in the front of you.
Right.
And you got a few who would go to the pedestrian, click the button, and zoop, step right out. Don't even wait for a second.
Yep.
Certainly, I have never seen a car at a funeral. I have never seen one in a cemetery. So I don't know why people is doing the things that they're doing to themselves when they come out here and moving around. The island is getting more busier, more cars, more people, and we cannot hold them. Yet our population is growing rapidly, and they're just crying more. They better be careful with the more.
Yep.
It's going to be a big effect on this island in time to come. And then when they turn around, get these guys this PR and whatever else they give them, then they got to come and put down what they want from what they don't want. They came on, so you can't say nothing to them.
Oh.
Come on, man. Who is making these laws for these people to do what they're doing, that they can come here and talk to us any kind of way and get away with it? They're invited into the island. They end up getting PR through a lot of little things that when I went to America, I never got my green card walking no dog. I just got mine as a decent citizen. When I had enough of that, I turned that in and came back to my country.
I hear you.
What I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
But anyhow.
All right.
I gotta let someone else give you a call.
All right.
You take care.
You take care. Talk soon.
Okay. Bye, darling.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, we got a call. We got a break. Flip a coin. Nope. We do what a man say. Please stay on the line. Please stay on the line.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, and child, they now have Barbados. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles until December 31st, 2023. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
Freedom, Cayman Rock. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone, and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
Welcome to a new year with Digicel. Elevate your mobile experience by switching to our prepaid or postpaid plan. Enjoy more data, seamless communication, and uninterrupted entertainment. Plus, make the switch now for a chance to win exciting rewards. Stay connected, entertained, and make 2024 your year with Digicel. Because better connections make a better year.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and thanks for sharing us, and thanks to the caller for holding on. How are you? Thanks for calling.
Hey, good afternoon, Dwayne.
Hey, how are you, man? Thanks again for holding on during the commercial break, huh?
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right.
Speaking about the financial center.
Mm-hmm.
The people that have the power to let these banks know that things what they are doing are not fair and should not be allowed to be done. A lot of these people have so much money tied up with the bank themselves that they are afraid to approach the situation the way that they should.
Which way is that? How would you advise it? You approach it?
Well, just common sense, Dwayne. Just simple common sense. And another one is CUC. They allow them to do as they please and taking unnecessary money from us, which people could be saving to go on vacation with their children. But they're not seeing that or don't want to. And the government just continues to allow them to do as they please. And one of the main reasons are stocks. It wasn't too long ago that Caribbean Utilities opened the stock exchange and rung the bell in Toronto. So they're not thinking about poor people and what we're feeling and about the unfairness that they're doing. But those that are in power, that have the power to stop CUC from doing what they're doing, that is increasing the rates and the prices everywhere else, they're not doing so. And my main reason why I think is because of stocks. Thank you very much, Dwayne.
Hey, thanks for sharing and for listening, man. Enjoy your weekend, all right? And a few minutes left, less than 6, more than 5. 949-837, 949-6990. If you want to be a part of it, you can also call us on the WhatsApp. 925-32-621. So I'm told the WhatsApp is working, 925-32-621. Try it. They say trust but verify. Knock and the door will be open. As I listened to much that was shared today, but all of a recent conversation in particular, I go back to what I'm very, very encouraged by what transpired over the Christmas, where many of you will say, listen, we had time. Probably is the reason why we can talk, because we made time. As they were enjoying the food, fun, and the fellowship, they shared. And the idea that, the Cayman is changing, and not always in a good way, and that there's a need for us to work together to find a way so that we don't increase in dividing the community. We don't see the things that are happening, whether it's the increased crime or if it's the ill behavior on our roads or other things, and just turn a blind eye to it. That we stand and we lock arms, join hands and hearts and work together. It doesn't mean that you say something that others may be offended by, that necessarily you're wrong. You don't need to be obnoxious, bumptious, and boisterous, but you got to be willing to be courageous and stand in the gap. And it doesn't mean that if you're the only voice that you're wrong necessarily, as it doesn't mean that if you're singing in unison and there's consensus, that means that it's right. Common sense, unfortunately, they say, isn't so common. But it seems that chivalry and courage equally have been out the door. Many of us will see and know and recognize that the things that are unfolding are the things that are good, but yet we are unwilling to do anything. We're just glad, boy, not me. Well, it may not be you today. What if it is you tomorrow? Or worse yet, what if it's somebody else that you really, really care about? Your mama, your daddy, your brother, your sister, your son, your daughter, your aunt, your uncle, your girlfriend, your wife, or whatever. You see, wrong is wrong. And unless and until we are prepared to acknowledge it and hold people accountable. Many of the callers talked about the issue of, seemingly some people can find greater favor than others. Yet, as the wonderful gentleman who shared, here is his son riding on not only property that is owned by him, but property that is, not just private, but is not on the public road, and is being told by a police officer, no, you can't do that here without a license. Yet on our streets, unlicensed bikes, bicycles, and increasingly the concerns as expressed by men in the public for the safety of the riders of these things, not just the potential loss in revenue to government from not having a license to operate this thing, not having the thing itself licensed, but the potential liability if there's an accident or like, or I should say an incident, following from what one of the police officers have shared. It's concerning. We allow certain things to happen because we think it's a good thing, but it's difficult to forget that the former police officer who called and constantly lamenting that he's fearful that somebody's going to get killed on one of these things. And if you listen to his heart that day as he was pleading, a week didn't pass when his fears were realized. It doesn't matter who's at fault. A life has been lost. Could that have been avoided? Is it that we are under the guise of trying to do something that may sound good, put many at risk? Or is it, as some of you have suggested, another, one of those things that contributes to the growing perception of lawlessness? Our society no longer has any semblance of a shared ethos. There is no decorum, no respect, amongst the people. No shared consensus as to how you operate on the roads. Take, for instance, what is probably very frustrating to many. You go into a roundabout, there's a vehicle to your left, and there is the first exit, there's a second exit, there's a third exit, and the vehicle to your left continues to go around on, the left side, the outside of you, not exited on the first, not the second, not the third, and goes all the way around. Is that something that is, not illegal, improper, ill-advised? What about those of us who enter a roundabout and we overtake, we change lanes in the roundabout? How many times have you seen it? How many times have you seen the vehicle behind you enter the roundabout as you have? And as you're going to exit, as you're going through the roundabout, the vehicle then overtakes you. Again, is that putting others at risk, including yourself and the occupants of the other vehicle? What about, we've seen some people on bicycle and on foot crossing the roads, at or near roundabouts. So much so now that we do have some stop lights that flash when we press, if we do press it. Now, that might be an intent to create safety and increase the use of roads by way of a pedestrian. But is it sensible? Is it properly structured? Well, we'll see what we do when we do what we do. All right, Monday is a public holiday. Other than that, I trust that you'll move about and enjoy and celebrate and recognize too much is given, much is required, and many times much of the problem is what we do, but also what we fail to do, because we lack courage, because we lack, that constitution to stand in the gap and do the right thing. Well, maybe it's time that changes, huh? And if you want something done and done right, maybe it is you. And if you want something done, maybe it's no. Well, we'll see. God's willing, be a part of our discussion. Come back on Tuesday. Remember, Monday being a holiday. We'll have, an extended break. But have a wonderful, safe, blessed, productive, and enjoyable long holiday weekend.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.